Okay, that's it. I guess I'm done. They'll be right here.
All right.
Okay. Put that away. And I'll stand up. Stand still, machinery.
We're experiencing technical malfunctions.
Physical.
Okay. All right, guys, welcome to the Literature Cafe Global. So sorry I was a few minutes late. We had a little bit of rain here in Nashville, Tennessee. I may write a song about it, so you'll know where the influence came from. They've had Kentucky rain. They've had probably other several rain songs, but I realized there's really never been a good rain song about Tennessee, and that is truly a writing crime, as we do get good rain. But anyway, enough of that. Today's show is very, very special. We've got a lot of great artists on here, and I'm going to be interviewing Finn Hall today, poet, filmmaker, artist, but also we've gathered a lot of people on this show. And Finn, who all do we got here with us today so far?
Who we got here today? I don't know these people. They just turned up on my
They just showed up at the porch.
We have, I don't know if you know, we have the fabulous Richard Harries there. He's another poet of my generation, but not my country, who I ran into online a couple of years ago, and fabulous writer. And he's also, you'll probably tell, he's quite shy, he doesn't put things about. He's got a book out, he's got another book coming out this year, and he has got a CD out of his poems that a bunch of musicians from around his area have made. And he's got another one coming out as well. We have, I'm trying to see my screen here, from Toronto, we've got Rolly James, who I've just run into about a month ago. And they're all wonderful poets, so I'm not going to say wonderful poet all the time. They're all great. We've got Alexandra, who you know, who comes from Greece, and is actually burning the candle at both ends now because she's got up for work in about 6 hours or something like that. She's going to be doing a bit of visual stuff with her husband, giving a musical accompaniment. And now we've got Karen wanting a blotter, listening in tonight. One for Greg Lamon's in the house. Somebody eating away there, Marissa's in the house. Terry Rose is here too, wonderful stuff. So we've got a great night, and we've got LJ Superior, who's coming in from Singapore just now as well. So we've got quite an international little bunch of people here tonight.
That's great. So I understand that we need to bring Alexandra on first, and I'll let you intro her if you'd like. And then we'll go on to the next poet.
All right. Okay. So Alexandra's done a Blot a couple of times, and she does visual work. It's truly astonishing stuff with music behind it. So the share screen's all yours. Take it away, Alexandra.
I know that some of you have heard Flying Nine, but as it's a new group, I'll just do it again, if you don't mind. My visions are my torture. My visions are my comfort. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts are not tired of sowing in the field of dreams. For the journey is bittersweet, half hurt, half tenderness. Like thorny milk thistle, like sweet smelling jasmine, accepting variety and different behaviors, going beyond wrongdoings and right doings, into new and more thriving harvests. My visions are my scrambling ascent. My visions are my sacred conquest. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts can admire the phosphorescent hopes of the sunset. For the journey is rugged, half uphill, half downhill, like bare time in the winter cold, like bees gathering nectar from spring blossoms, evoking the rain's lament and the sun's caress, going beyond unpleasant reactions, onto new and even higher peaks. My visions are my futile mirages. My visions are my sweetest oases. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts are refreshing fountains of muses' songs. For the journey is uncharted, half tempest, half tranquility, like a wavy, turbulent sea on a windy day, like crystal, serene waters under the shimmering sun, sailing over low and high tides, going beyond traumatic and fond memories, into new and longed for harbors. My visions are my lightning duty. My visions are my radiant basking. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts shine brightly through storms. For the journey is evolving, half empirical, half innate. Seeing what I encounter, seeing what I know. Painting the world in dark and iridescent hues. Going beyond detrimental and beneficial beliefs. Into new and more exquisite rainbows. Our visions are our unmanifested ashes. Our visions are our golden wings. Golden visions. Golden flying. Could you not see the screen all this time?
No, there was no screen sharing come up with that, but we had you.
But why didn't you say anything, Finn?
Oh, I didn't know you were doing this thing because the transcript came up because I've got subtitles on, so we're reading it anyway.
I
Sorry.
thought you were planning to have the picture like that. It looked really good, actually. It was. I was listening. I was quite compelled as I listened. Amazing work.
No, but I was obviously not sharing the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, Alexandra, I thought you were trying something different.
Yeah, we all thought it was
Yeah,
something
yeah.
quite new, and we were going with it.
I thought you were trying something new because I've seen it many times, and I'm going, "Oh, let's go with this," and it worked.
No, it worked fine because I've got
It was very
got the
ethereal.
transcript on.
It was very ethereal just hearing it. It
Yeah.
was-
Yeah, it's quite surreal.
I was watching everyone and they're all staring down, reading the screen, so it was coming up fine. Even the words that weren't, transcribed properly, that were still working great.
I'm really sorry because
And your enunciation is very good with the poetry. I mean,
I was meant to be showing you all this.
I wouldn't be.
Okay.
Like I said, I've seen it a few times, and it's never boring. But I actually thought you were just trying something different, and
Right.
it worked for me.
It worked perfectly.
It worked perfect. Yeah, it did. It was great. I wouldn't feel bad. I thought it was amazing.
if I could read poetry like that, I would be in every bookstore in Nashville. And the guitar was lovely.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yes.
It worked wonderful. Thank you.
Mostly Greek, Hadivagis.
You know,
Sir, we'd like to have you come feature with that guitar sometime, please.
Mhm.
Seriously, like.
Well, Alexandra, for the rooms where for some reason you can't share like the ones we experienced before, now you know it works. Even if it worked, it was beautiful.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope that you both feature again with us. Maybe in a few coming weeks, we could just have a straight concert of his guitar and your poetry. Something.
If you promise to be on time.
Yeah. Well, I ran through the rain, and the rain quit as I got in the door. So that's how Tennessee works.
I know you live up in the mountains, so.
Well, the weather here has been terrible. It's like it gets cold and it gets icy, and you can't go to work. And then you're at home writing poetry, but you're like, man, I need to go to work too. So it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, it's like a summer's day compared to up in Toronto just now, and then the snow that rolls been getting up there. My sister-in-law stays just outside Toronto in Brampton, and she put on a picture. She stays in the 29th floor of apartment block. She put on a picture the other night. She a strange sky tonight, beautiful sun going down, really strange clouds. And then first thing in the morning, she put on the same photograph. You couldn't see the shop across the road because there was like 1.5 feet of snow in it. So.
Oh yeah, we got dumped on. The amount of snow in a short period of time. I think it started like 10 o'clock that night and didn't end till like 4 the next day. 4 in the afternoon. It just.
All right. Thank you very much,
Anyway.
Alexandra. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry about that. It's past.
No,
No.
That was tops.
It was beautiful. It was
I love it.
beautiful.
We're going to over now because someone's going to go to work in about 15 minutes or so. If you don't mind, we've got Singapore and see if Elche is ready to share her work with us.
Yes.
Right. Welcome in.
Thank you for having me. So I wrote this for my parents who both passed away. Okay, here it goes. This loneliness is like a shadow hanging with me through day and night, leaving me sleepless at night and restless at day. I'm completely fine, but my heart aches as if someone's squeezing it to bleed, asking if I die today. Everyone is afraid to die, to leave a lover or a friend, even families near or far, just the same. As I sat here alone, the stillness of night, gazing to unending darkness outside, wishing to fade. I was hoping someone would call to ask if I'm okay or doing good or not. Wasn't I good enough as a human? With that, I fall deeper to unknown. These four walls of darkness, feeling trapped, unable to breathe properly, body exhausted. My brain doesn't stop. Broken pieces of yesterday came by, leaving the trace of sadness, regret, and pain, flashing like movies. Each each scene stabs my chest deeper and deeper. I don't know where or who's to blame or why am I in this state, cursing this pillow over and over again, sleeps with eyes wide open. While they say be strong, it's okay to cry, but no regrets, though tears fall is a deception unknown to many. As I lay this threat to my confusion, one last glance as the rain dropped heavily. When the person leaves, can we say love ends? If love ends, would it stay even after this life? Thanks for listening. Thank you.
Well done. Nice tribute. Well done.
Thank
Yes.
you. That was beautiful.
That was
Very
Thank
good.
you very much indeed. Thank you.
Very
Thank you so
Marissa's putting up
much.
big pink hearts to you there. Fantastic stuff. Yes, thank you. It's two great ideal poems for this, both from you and Alexander. Ideal feel to them for this time of night in our part of the world, in your part of the world too. It's not yeah, not too rowdy stuff, shall we say. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. All right. We're going to think we'll maybe have one more just now before see what Brian wants to do. We're going to
Oh, I
go
was
now.
thinking another poet maybe then I could do. Do we
Yeah.
have Danielle here?
Yeah, she's here.
Well, how about we bring, do we have Saeed? Did he arrive?
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna have, well, if you'd like, I was thinking, 'cause I've been
Oh.
communicating a lot with Danielle, and she is a admin on the Literature Cafe Global now. We added her, and she's gonna be doing a show too pretty soon, maybe like a live one, live feed kind of show. And to ignite all the people that are part of the group together. As you all know, the Literature Cafe Global is not really a group by itself. It kind of connects to everybody. And I'm so glad of that because I don't feel alone now. So if Danielle would like to do something before we do the interview.
Can I, this, I don't maybe rude, but maybe
I'm sorry.
get Richard on first, because Richard,
Okay.
so he struggles with seeing, but he's got cataract, so he'll listen
Oh.
in, but you need to get him reading before
problem.
his eyes fall out or something.
We take care of legendary
Danielle.
poets here.
Okay, so we'll go with Richard, Danielle, and then.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. After about half an hour, I'm really getting blurry looking at the screen. So I quite often turn the screen off, but I'm still here. I promise.
By all means.
Now that Finn's introduced me, told you all about my book, Awakening, which is published by Stairwell Books, which is Rose Drew's publishing house in York. I thought I'd better do a poem from the book because that would seem sensible. It's on Barnes and Noble, it's on Amazon, and you can message me and things like that, or go on Stairwell Book site. And this is one I don't do a lot, so hopefully, although Finn's got my book, I don't think you've heard me perform this one. The House. It was magnificent. Such a great new house, large, roomy. She could have a family here. They would grow, live and love like in a novel. Large gardens around it, secure with hedges, in the countryside, a hamlet, remote. Safe, a long, happy life ahead. She was only 30. She smiled. They moved in, decorated, garden. She gave birth several times. They were happy, loved and laughed. Middle-aged arrived. Her kids left home. The house seemed large, but they loved it still. Then she was alone. Her beloved husband died. The house was now vast, but she loved it still, wanted to live out her days. Got helping to clean, to do the garden too. All was fine. She had been here 50 years, a lifetime. Then things went wrong. Her memory failed. She fell repeatedly. No one moved back in to help. She was alone and struggled. The kids arranged her a place in a home. There she lived out her days with occasional, increasingly rare visits. No remote countryside now, no rolling fields, no quiet hamlet with a rosy future. The house would be sold when she died. Her son drove by for memory's sake, was horrified, dilapidated, neglected and overgrown, like a Gothic mansion in a horror film. Sinister, not happy, the cycle of her life. And we got an Airbnb in New York, which is not in America. This is in Lincolnshire. It's a hamlet. And there was this beautiful house, and it had barbed wire and notices saying, guard dogs on duty, do not come in. And it had obviously been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. And the roses and shrubs that have grown wild, you know, so that made me write that one. And this is the poem that Rose heard me do at the York Literature Festival, and she singled me out for a special mention. So I said afterwards, will you publish me? And she said no. It took me 5 years of persuasion, but we got there eventually. And it's a tale of warning for men. Went to the doctor's last Christmas for something else, some minor condition, but mentioned while I was there that I had a sore nipple. No idea why. Had not hurt myself that I could remember. Just mentioned it. I was not worried. Could see alarm on his face. And I found myself within days at Cottingham at the breast cancer clinic. Seems this is a common sign that there could be a real problem. The problem that has killed so many. I sat there with my wife and felt strange. Many women there, mostly with their husbands, mostly young. I felt weird and bewildered, uneasy, terrified, alone. The only man with this problem, until they started to call out the other patients' names. Several were men, not the wives. I was not alone, not unusual. I was the only man, though, who was not a young lad with decades in front of him. They all seemed so fit and glowing with health. It seems that this, for men, is not uncommon. Yet it's something that men do not think about, breast cancer affecting them. Went for the mammogram. The nurse said I would have been warned by the wife. Warned? No, I've come for something like a photograph. Wrong. An X-ray type thing, I thought. They grab and twist and stretch and clamp. Yes, clamp in metal. Then they photograph. As they grab your shoulders and maneuver you, it's bloody painful, and women don't tell you about it. Maybe because they don't think you'll want to know, or maybe because it's a bad memory. But I'm telling you, because you should know, you must know. It's scary. They stick a needle into your nipple and take tissue. Then they examine you and ask if the nipple is sore. It was before, but by now it's bloody sore. They ask if you noticed a difference in your nipple. I never looked, but I should now, and now you should too. They said they thought it was all okay, felt good. But then a letter of recall, and they do the tests again. It's a nightmare. But finally, the all clear, thank God. And then finally a shorter one, which is the title of the book, and it's called Awakening. The vast stone woke up from the sleep of 1,000,000 years. It felt deep inside itself, down to its inner core, deep into the earth, to the centre of the planet. It looked outwards, down the steep hillside at the world which had changed since it had last been awake. Then the planet had been verdant, fresh, pure. Creatures of all kinds had existed, giant lumbering beasts, small animals, birds and insects. all surviving and leaving no imprint, no destruction, no sign of their lives. Now the stone, the spirit of the earth, viewed with dismay the destruction of the planet. Creatures on 2 legs walked, ran, existed. Behind them they left things, mess, litter, destruction. Translucent things were on the ground and in the oceans, things that looked as though they would be there for thousands of years. Violation of the planet everywhere, grasslands covered, forests destroyed, smoke, pollution, everywhere so unusual. The stone felt it should fight back, and it knew how it should. It could raise a huge volcano, cause reaction the planet over, destroy these creatures, let the planet recover from them. But then it thought deep and went back to sleep, believing it could wake again in 1,000,000 years, and the destructive 2 legs would be gone, forgotten, having destroyed themselves completely. And anyway, that's the book that Finn happily mentioned. He told you I'm shy, didn't he? That was sarcasm. Anyway.
That's very good. You definitely need to put a link on the Literature Cafe Global page because we can all share it and help you promote.
Right. Thank you very much. If you will you join me to that page, Finn, please, and I'll do that.
Yeah, will do, Richard. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. And I've got volume 2, which is called Iconic Tattoo, in October. And it's called that because I thought that would be eye-catching and people would think, oh, what's he called that for? So
I definitely would like to hear that because it sounds like you have a poem.
Yeah, well, next time I come, I'll do that one. But I looked through the list, I selected the titles and I thought, which could my illustrator make those sort of eye-catching and funky? And so that's why I chose that one. Right, thank you very much indeed. That's brilliant.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess now we have Danielle coming up. And she's been a big help in the Literature Cafe Global. She has shown amazing artwork. And recently, I made her an admin in the group as she was going to do like a live feed with the group to kind of get everybody participating with each other, you know, for something. And so let's hear some of her poetry.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay? I've got my mic unmuted. Okay. Well, I'm Janelle Boyles. I'm a locally known artist here in Evansville, Indiana, and just recently got back into writing in the last year or so. And I'm in the process of actually editing a new book with my art illustrations. So that's an exciting happening that I got going on. So I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to join you today. I really enjoyed listening to all of you already so far. So this one that I'm going to read to you is kind of dedicated to all of those that are struggling right now to just kind of hang on and appreciate their true greatness and what they have to offer to everyone around them. Do you know how truly amazing you are? Do you know that daily, hourly, by the minute, you impress upon in this great vastness? Do you know how important your presence is in all of this dense air, dense personalities, dense energy, this dense planet, the worlds we float through, this image of what we call life? Do you know it wouldn't be the same without you? Your beauty, your creativity, your kindness, your energy, your individuality. So many worlds would stop spinning without you in it. So many individual planets would cease to rotate in existence. Do you know someone's heart would stop beating if yours did too? Do you know our worlds collide with precise perfection on a level most will never understand? Do you know how needed your existence is? Your drop adding to millions and millions of drops to create this beautiful, overwhelming wave of life. Do you know that if your light goes out, many lights go out? They cannot continue to burn without you. Do you know that your uniqueness is needed in this world and many others unseen, in between worlds? Do you know those worlds? They are secret places where your magic sparks a divine reaction, where life flows through iridescent veins and shining auras. Do you know without those worlds, they don't exist? Those magic in between worlds need you. Do you know the sun rises and sets with you? Rise into your moments, leave the density in the old and find yourself anew. Amidst magic and in between mystery and mayhem, do you know they need to stay? Stay and light your veins afire with the spark of divine iridescent magic. Stay for your wave. Stay because you are needed. Stay because you are magic. Just stay.
Beautiful, Daniel, beautiful.
That was wonderful.
I appreciate you letting me express my poetry.
All right, and now we are going to be doing an interview with Finn, and this is brought to you by Coca-Cola, because that's what I'm drinking right now. Sue me, Coca-Cola.
Coffee.
Really. But today's been great because there's a bit of a struggle for me to get here today, but I knew such a great show was awaiting me. And I've been looking forward to this a lot because I recently got to do an interview with another director, which a show you guys have all seen, Gene Fillets. And we're awaiting his new movie, Beneath. But he's, we're waiting for it. And also I've been working with Finn Hall, who also creates films, does poetry, has a group. Is it from a blot from a blue, correct?
That's
From
correct. A blot.
And so I'm being surrounded by directors and filmmakers now, so it's kind of changing my writing, as it were. And I'm glad to have Finn here today. And he's going to tell us a little bit about film. And his creativity and how he does it. So I understand you have your group, and you probably got a lot of people checking it out and everything when you did it, because it's quite popular and very good. When did the filming start? Did you start having Zooms and think, well, maybe I should start making films of these, or start gathering all the artists of the world? Because your last movie has everybody in it.
Yeah. It started off, well, it's like everything started off during lockdown, and I think how this journey began for me. It was like April 2020, and as we know, that April is usually prompt, like what it's called, National Poetry Month prompt word. And there's a bunch of people in the Aberdeen, Scotland area said, oh, you want to come and do this, and let's write a poem a day to a prompt. And I said, yeah, let's do that. So I did that. And then when it was over, they says, what are we going to do now? And I went, I don't know. So I thought this idea, where if I wrote a verse and then got someone to write the next line from that, taking one word from that last line of my verse, sounds more complicated than it is, and use it in the first line of their verse. And then they wrote a verse, and I ended up getting 100 people to start with to do that. And this is where I met a lot of people, just through literally going on Zoom shows and finding Zoom shows and seeing people that I like and saying, okay, you want to do that? And then, do you want to come in my Zoom show? And do you want to write a line? Quite a few people in here have done it. I've written lines on the book, and the second book, which came out last year, and the third book, which I'm working on just now, all stuff like that. And people tell people, and people tell people. And then one of the people I met early on in Zoom was the fabulous Kathy Carson. And I wrote a poem. I found all my old poetry books. I hadn't written poetry up until about 2020, for about 15 years. I haven't written for a long, long time, and I'd never performed my poetry live anywhere up until 2019. But I found all my old books, and I put a few verses that I quite liked, and I put them online. And then I put something else online. I can't remember what it was. And she says, oh, she immediately wrote back. She doesn't write often, and she wrote back with a verse. And I thought, oh, that's good. That's a poem, not a verse. And she says, I said, I'm going to make a film out of this. If I can get some people to write this a poem about the struggles of writing a poem, the struggles of being a poet, whether it's real or not, whether it's people who have anxiety about writing, people who get anxious, who can't get past the first line. And I think it was about a dozen people, Richard was part of it as well, to write a poem and film themselves doing this poem. And I called it Poets in Therapy. And I got people where they could to sit in a chair as if they're, one of these, like an drugs thing or an alcoholic thing. And, it's like, my name's Finn and I'm a poet, that kind of thing. Pretend you're in a therapy session. And got people to write poems from that. And I got some astonishingly great work from that. And I just edited it together, put it together, and made the first film. And I thought, made a film. And I thought, that was fun. That was good. Yeah. And then people hassled me to make another one. So I made another one. And then someone says, well, if you're going to do another one, let's make it a happy one, which was the last one, called A Celebration of Poets. The second one was A Desolation of Poets, because I woke up in the middle of the night. I never wake up with a poem in my head, but I just woke up with this. The collective noun for a bunch of poets is a desolation of poets. And I thought, well, that fits. And then I thought, fuck it, I'm going to make a movie with that. And that's what I did. I got people to write, a poem about being a desolate poet. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that last one, as you saw, was pretty full-length picture. It was like an hour and nearly 2 hours long or something like that. But it's hard work, but it's fun. It's fun doing it. The hardest part is getting people to hold their phones around the right way, quite frankly, because most people naturally, when you phone, you hold it up and down. When you film, take a photograph. Just teach people to turn it sideways into landscape, because you can get more of that person, more of where you are, more of what you're doing. It's not important, but it's just easier to work with.
That's great. Also, your group, I noticed it really gets out there to a lot of people. So that was about the same time as doing the filmmaking, or did the group kind of come out of the blue?
Yeah, they all come. Most of it comes from Blot. Yeah, most of it comes from this massive group. I mean, I feel exceedingly honored that people come on. I ask people and they just go, yeah, I'll do it. Some people message me and say, oh, can I come on? I went, yeah, fine, pop in, I don't mind. And
pop in.
Yeah, pop in. And people do, and people come and people go, and people read one poem and then bugger off again. You never see them for the rest, forever and ever. And that's okay too. I mean, I have a collage I've made of people from the first year, and the photographs, you can't recognize half the people because there's so many people on it. And I started the second one too. And I've added the people that's been in the movies that's never came to museum show. So they're all blots, and people that's been in my live shows when I go do my live ones in Aberdeen. They're all part of the same family. They're all part of the same group. So
do any like really famous filmmakers ever influence you at times? Because I know since I've gotten to see Gene Fillets do his stuff and everything, and it's gotten all over there, with great movies I loved, and your films too as well. Any directors or people that made films inspire you ever? Because a lot of times I'll look at poetry and music, and I'm not trying to copy it by chance, but I'm like, wow, I would like to be like that, or that's kind of cool.
No, there's nothing. I mean, I like film, I love film, but there's nothing inspires, there's no one thing that sounds terrible. Not one thing inspires me. Everybody inspires me. And I like to take a bit out of everything and learn. And when I see some of the films clips that some people have made for my film, and I go, Jesus, they're really good. It's not just and there's nothing wrong with just, I don't mean it's horrible. It's not just sitting in front of your camera and redoing your poem, or doing it outside and doing your poem. That's all perfect.
Yeah.
But, you know, in some of them, and in desolation of poets, there's a poet called Kev Bamboo, and he did one, and just, he did a thing with special effects and everything in it, you know. It's like, yeah, it's just astonishing stuff that people put in. And I thought, oh, they're in my film and they're doing that. But no, I don't have any inspiration, especially coming to the film and what to do, other than the people that put it in and just make me want to do more, but it's hard work. So I think I'm going to do something different this year and not do one like that, you know.
That answer makes a lot of sense because your work is very individualistic. Like the next scene, you never know what's coming. And I like that. Like I was seeing, I think a scene of Japan in part of it, or some country, maybe, I don't know if I was right, but it looks really futuristic and big buildings.
I was Singapore.
Water shimmering.
Yeah, that was Singapore. That was Soviet Ang. Yeah.
I wanted to go there and just stay. I was just like, this could be my new city. So I like how your films show everybody a little piece of the world. Like, as for me, I got to do a scene, and me and my friend Pat chose the backyard, you know, because he plays music. And so
I try and
we're
encourage
roommates, so I'm always doing poetry and music. He does his songs. So we chose the backyard as a setting and the fire pit because we thought, you know, it'd be kind of cool. Come around the fire at dusk. We must get in touch. And but it's just neat that everybody was able to create their own in it, and that's what makes your film special, I think.
Well, I do try encourage people when they can. I know they can't always, to get outside and do it. And sometimes it's not easy because, especially, there was someone did a scene in the desolation one about an old building that's been knocked down, and there was lots of traffic going by and things like that. But I was happy with that because it was natural. It was real, you know, it just how it was. But I have a very short, I was telling people before you come here, next Wednesday, the 25th, I think it's Wednesday, is Burns Day, Robert Burns' birthday. And in Scotland, they often celebrate Burns Day with events and things like that. And I have got 10 people from around the world to read 4 lines, which is like, there's 5 verses, so whatever it is, 4 lines from Burns' poem, A Man's a Man for A' That. And I've got them, where they can, to film it outside somewhere. And I've got some great locations from an old asylum cemetery to Finland in the snow and a Tennessee creek. And so there's a couple of people inside, which is fine, but I've got them to go on location where they can. And it's only 2 minutes long, but I'm going to be putting that out next Wednesday on Facebook. So I finished editing it today, so that's going to be good. That's got Singapore and Canada and America and Scotland, Ireland, no, not Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Isle of Man, and England. So it's been creative people.
Well, I would love for the Literature Cafe Global to be one of the premier spots for that, because we're starting to celebrate a lot of new films coming. And not only do we do poetry and music and film and music, we have art, well, all genres really. So it's kind of coming together where it's very abstract these days. And I like that, because even in my own creativity, I find it to be abstract. But
I'll share that. I'll share that as well as my page. Share that on the LitCaf next week as well when it comes live. So, and it's ironic because the day after that I'm going to a live event, which is it's called Not the Burns Day, Nae Burns, and you're not allowed to do any burns at this one, and it's in Scotland. So I love the irony of that too. So.
And I'd also like to promote, a Blot from the Blues so that everybody can join. And make sure you drop that link too, because we want to get everybody kind of connected, you know, because there's so many wonderful groups out there. And when I first started, I could never get a feature. I would do open mic shows. And as a poet once told me, which I was wet behind the ears at the time, and I didn't like hearing that, because I get up there the first time and read in 5 minutes, everything. It was a blur. It was a blur. And they were like, well, slow down, read a little slower. And then I got to co-host an event or host an event because they were out of town. And this has really been what happened with it. It all came together, and I'm more connected to a lot of people, a lot of artists and poets. And I hope it just grows, you know, because I would like to interview everyone, you know. Everyone, really.
Interview everyone a whole night.
I don't think I'm Jimmy Fallon, but I'd like to interview a lot of people, because I feel like when we connect to an artist and find out what they're all about, you learn more. And
yeah.
Would you like to close this interview, Finn, with say a poem or anything like that? Because this man is a great poet.
Yeah, I'll do something, but I want to say something first. I told you I got to do an announcement. But
okay.
I'm hoping at the moment my third collaboration joined up writing book 3, and it's called Three Fall. This one's called, but it's like, as I said, I've got a different poem, right? A different person. They're not all poets writing a verse for my. It's one long poem, 3 books long. And it's fabulous. And quite a few people here have done it. And I'm halfway through this last one. It's going to be my last one, because it's really, really hard connecting people like this. But I think he says there's going to do something even harder. For after that's finished, I want to do a joined up writing film, where I want people to write a whole poem that follows on from the last line of the poem before, but I want them to film themselves on location doing it. I want them to make as good a film as they can. So it'll be a long, long project, because, you know, it takes me 5 days between poets, they get a verse in. So 100 verses for 5 days, I think. It's a long haul. So it'll be longer for this film. I want to make a joined up writing film, because the book's been quite successful. So that's my next plan. As well as I'm doing a book at the end of the year called something like 70 of the 70s. I haven't done it yet, where I've got poets of a certain age. I reached age 70 in September, and I am getting 70 poets age 70 and over to write a poem about aging, and I'll get to publish a book on that as well, if I find a publisher, like, but or I'll do it myself through Amazon, who cares, as long as I get it out.
So you go through, to get your books, how would we go about it? Go through Amazon or?
Well, my joined up writing books are both on Amazon. Okay. My own book, my own collection, is available through Runcible Spoon Press, or you can get a Kindle version on Amazon, not the real book, but just look up my name and joined up writing. Marissa did it the other week. She got them the other week. So they're on Amazon.
Because I want to join the Finn Hall Book Club, man. I think it would just be a great way to spend my hours, because I love your poetry, I love your music and the films. They all kind of interweave, you know, and it's here, and here, and I like that.
Well, I do try to do that, interweave. Yeah. Right. Okay, you want me to do something? I'm trying to find the one I wrote. I wrote one yesterday, and I maybe haven't crossed it over yet. So now, all right, I'm going to do this one that I wrote a couple of days ago. First, and I debuted it on Kemlin's thing yesterday afternoon. Kemlin Butt's Between the Lines. And it's a poem for a change with me. I usually write stuff just out of my head and imagination. And this one is actually about the Irish potato famine of the late 1700s, whatever it was. And I watched the archaeology program the other day, and just a short section about it was of some locals trying to find where the road was and find artifacts, and they found nothing. They found the road was nothing. And this is called Roads to Nowhere. In Guatemala, we starved to death. We clung to life. And Russia, such hard times. We sold our clothes. We lost our homes. We lost our children, lost their lives. Sir Robert Peel, Tory leader, Conservative leader, Chancellor too at the same time, heartless buffoon. Nothing new. Let's make new roads, said he. They don't want charity. I know their minds. They won't think that's kind. They need to work. They need to bleed. They need to appreciate what we're doing for them. Don't worry if there's a road nearby, we'll build another. Jobs for the poor, jobs for the family, jobs for the good of all. Dig all day, scrape away, paid in pennies, paid in blood, mainland masters, Westminster bastards. The Whigs cared not, the landlord's gone, the poor just left alone, left to die, left to mourn, left to starve, left to their cashless devices, left the island. 1 million left, 1 million died, and millions others sat and cried. In Skibbereen and points west and south, empty tables, empty mouths, pointless roads where families told, where families suffered, where 400 miles was a buffer, as lords and ladies wined and dined. The problem was the awful bright. For 7 years, day and night, we ate alone. We died alone. But roads we made, but none remain. No clues within the soil, no remnants of our turgid toil. We had nothing. We came with nothing. We left nothing. Nothing. Still nothing. Not enough to matter to the people that matter, because we built roads to nowhere. And today the people live nearby, unaware that the roads are there, unmarked, unassuming bits of land. Centuries on, memories gone, memories past. The past is far away, not just yesterday. And underneath the bumps and grass, that's where it is, the past. There you go.
Beautiful. Awesome. I like the background you have there too. Very interesting.
The background, that's a pub called Spin. That's where I go once a week, once a month to do open mic. Yeah, it's a good
Oh,
spot.
wow. Feel like you took us there by making the background.
And I'm in the background as well. If you see me just underneath the David Bowie poster, I'm there too.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I have a piece here that I'm going to read because all these filmmakers have been inspiring me. So I started writing poetry based on a filmmaking view. And I was thinking about how, we always get like Amber Alerts and things like that here. And you got to click on it on your phone. Otherwise, it just won't go away, Like, brown Toyota, license plate, whatever. And you're like, wow. And you'll be at work and you like say, click off the Amber. You hope they find the person, of course. So I wrote this one. It's called Lost Locals. And my caption to myself was, this one gets dark. And I was trying to find a word for socio writer, one who writes about really terrible things, but it wouldn't be a sociopath writer, so I gave up on that. So. But another word for socio writer. Just took the pen and I heard that he's writing again. I remember the Cafe Coco days. on the front porch and backstage, way back when he was reading Dear Mr. Author mixed with a beat. It described the traumas, the writing dramas, the possibility of needing security, socio-writer, dangerous truth. Hear menacing beats, laughter, strange twists of fate, duct tape, nightmare, surprises, suspense. Writer gets taken away as his work gets attention on finding lost locals, gets close to truth. On the film version, he is taken away by a mystery van, burlap sack, dummy inside. So you're gonna write about us. Killers, huh? You think you cornered the market on the crime noir. Well, you're wrong. We found you. What led up to it? Sees him in a crowd. It's him. Eyes move, connected, all eyes in the crowd to his. He's at the coffee place early, got a notepad, got a pen. He's writing again. Maybe something he said doesn't change things. I don't know, but we can't let this happen. Thank you. In other words, he doesn't get away with it in the film. Failure. It's really good to be around the filmmakers and the poets and the prose writers, because I feel like that can come out. Well, Finn, who else do we have that would like to read some poetry?
Okay, we've got three more people here. So we're going to
I would love to follow your lead on some of this and kind of bring some people in that you'd like to bring in.
Yeah, so you do it. Okay, please roll. Got my friend Roll up in Toronto.
Thanks, Finn.
Oh.
Great interview. I love listening to your story, my friend.
Thank you.
You're a fascinating man. I'm very fortunate to have met you. So, although it's virtual, so, and everyone in this group. So, I've got some pieces that I'm working on, and I figure why not? I'll test the crowd tonight, see how it goes. I used to famously do that when I did an open mic back in Kelowna. I'd use people as guinea pigs. So, first piece I'm going to read, I call The Poet's Love. Inspired words guide me through this life to overcome the barrier of my troubles and strife. With the sun on my face, I meet the things that I fear. I muster the courage to purge this unity from my soul. Breaking its contract, my karma, I will change. Full circle I've traveled on this finite epic plight. I'm a nomadic feather floating on the winds of Yah's grace, the bridge that connects to the poetic symmetry of it all. So that's one short piece. This is a trilogy. The first part of the trilogy is called The Seed of Yah. When I say Yah, I mean God, universe, goddess, whatever you call whoever you drop to your knee to. I am the affirmed connection to my divine origin, the freedom and peace of light to transform me. I let go of false images to be the master of my reality, integrating this feeling of silence in the stillness of Yah's grace. The consciousness of Yeshua planted a seed in my choice to baptize me like Joshua's tree silhouette's image of hope. I come from the old ones, appreciatively walking into the mystic. And then the trilogy continues, Yah's good work. I am the choice and storyteller that quenches the infinite thirst of unfiltered thoughts. A child of the garden letting go to remember the tranquil tears of life, a teardrop of life's water. A collection of still and turbulent revelations, not savior nor sinner. I am Yah's good works, timeless my soul. And then the last of the trilogy is called The Anchor. Breath in the awareness of grace. Exhale the thoughts in silence. Trust the illusion of time's measure in this forever expanding space. See the divine in all eyes. Feel the freedom that lights bring. Wake up from the dark recesses of religion. You are the vessel, the message, and the answer. The anchor that moors the radiance of Yah. And I'll leave you with this last one called A Poetic Thought. From the womb, a series of poetic thoughts are launched, a vessel used to convey feelings of lust and wonder. From my heart flows a sequenced time staunched, defiantly played in a sonnet and stanza in opposition of time's anchor. Reflective vignettes project thoughts and ideas of life. Poetry is the glue that provokes my emotions. I'm the illusionist that formulates an elixir larger than life. My imagination, the compass, true north points. Life's symphony scored in years to seize the moment, into the fire that burns hope for its eternal flame. I am a ship in the cosmic night, each junction a bestowment, for I am faithful in this decree, the master of my name. Thank you, guys.
Ooh, man.
Very good.
That was
See, I
wonderful.
saw the last name
Wonderful.
Slade pop up after on the screen, and someone else interested.
Yeah, we've got 3 more people to read. I think we've got Larissa, Terry, and Greg.
And was it Joshua Slade, or I saw the name Slade pop up because I can't see
Yeah,
all the
Greg.
names on the screen.
It's Greg Slade, yeah.
And Greg said he would like to have a chance at reading too. So
Yeah, so
we
do
got
that.
like a full bill tonight.
Yeah, we'll go with the first person to put their hand up earlier on. That was Marissa.
All right. Now I know how to get a feature.
All right, I got one for you. I wrote this in a Guerrilla Poets workshop. It's called Past Lives. Pulling out my inner child is like removing a hot dish from the oven without pot holders for protection. It's gonna leave a mark. The mountains of my home always smelled of wildflowers and dust. Cool winds carried sparrows that built mud nests under the sheltered parts of our porch. Their babies would fall out, and I would pick up their naked corpses, dark eyes bulging big, beak, wings, feet. Could see it would have been a bird. Summer camp, they'd throw me in the swimming pool, even though I could not swim. We had an orange striped cat named Tigger who lived in the barn beside our house. I once watched that cat carefully dismantle a mouse, eating all fur and skin first, then inhale the carcass head first, entrails popping out, leaving a minimum amount of blood on the ground. I used to get shoved down on the playground until my mouth was full of dirt. I spent most days of my before I could remember time in that barn. Even after the laughter of horses had vacated and weeds had overgrown stalls, when shit had turned back to earth and all had fallen quiet, I'd still run around the corral as if I belonged there. Belonged more there than in the house. The bigger I grew, the smaller my mother made me feel on husband number 3. I ran away 4 times that I can remember growing up. I wished I could have grabbed the mane and swung up on the back of that black Frisian stallion, ran down the road to the highway and into the unknown. It was much better than the known, for I was the mouse, and the house was consuming my skin, feasting on my insides while slowly devouring the last drops of girl that I contained. I was the baby bird, dried and stuck to the concrete, the forgotten future of humanity by a school that only held bullies and detention after fistfights. Explains why I so easily accept disappearance as an adult, as a woman, as a mother. Thank you.
Ooh, yeah,
Bravo.
better than the known. Yes, definitely. Better than the known. Great line. Okay, Terry.
Hi.
Yeah.
I actually have one about horses I was going to read. That's funny. We must be on the same wavelength.
Nice
Wild-
background, Terry Rose Jurtson.
Yes, this book is for sale. If anyone's
It kind of
interested.
looks like this.
Yes, definitely show us the book because
Yes.
show us the book there because and how we can get it and where we can get it because we're trying to spread the word on books, films.
I will tell you. I will tell you how to get one from me, and then you can tell them how to get one from you.
So this is my book. Oh, sorry, Terry Rose. This is my book, Conversations with Grief. It's available through the press, Red or Green Books. We did 21 books last year. We published 20 authors, and our flagship anthology is Touching Tongues, the Women's Erotic Anthology. We're doing a men's and them erotic anthology this year, so men get to writing. And we also have spots for 26 poets this year who have never published. So, and I'm super excited. Terry Rose is one of those poets. We're launching her debut poetry collection this year. I'm going to be in New York City in July with this launch. I'm so excited, my friend, to have you. You don't even know. Yes, let's go take over the world. So if you've never published a book of poetry, I mean, even if you have, like Finn, if you have, but I mean, for the launches, the group launches, right? We're focusing those on debut collections. Launches.
I have a humorous sort of erotic poem.
Ooh.
You were talking pretty erotic earlier.
No, it's a really old one I found, and I thought it started as a story, and I thought, no, actually it works as a poem better. So I'll send that to you.
Let's do that. I'm not charging submission fees or anything for it. It's really kind of an invitation thing. So yes, let's go, Finn. Just message me or send it to me. Say this is, and we'll go. There's 31 women from 5 different countries in this anthology. We're super excited for it. So yeah.
All right. Terry, carry on.
If you want one of these books, you can order from me. I have PayPal. And if you want to order it, you can PM me on Instagram. And my Instagram handle is ifunniesmom, IFUNNIEZ mom at Instagram.com. And also my name, Terry Rose Jurtson, on Facebook. So you can either Facebook message me or message me on Instagram. So I do have some funny poems in that book. Well, they're kind of, tongue in cheek. Anyway, my poem for today is about horses. Wildly galloping freely through the ranges, mane flying through the gusty wind, jumping, clipping, clopping, no shoes on, these strong muscular bodies, a work of art, muses for artists, canvases, and horse lovers of every kind. And then I have another short one. I feel the wet water surrounding my body in the bathtub. The level increased when I entered to almost overflow, my girth being almost as wide as it ever was, carrying a child almost to full term. I lay back and notice the rolling positioning of the in utero baby as he gets comfortable in there. The shape or misshapen belly looking almost alien-like as it changes and rolls as he moves. My breasts happily taking a break, temporarily weightless as they float on the water. I will use my sponge and soap myself and my baby clean. Blue water, yellow mood, greenish soapy bubbles, black lines of silhouettes, orange peel flesh, the universe encompassed within me. I hold my breath as I sink below the water.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you. I'll
So
put my
who-
info in the chat.
So what poets inspired you to become the poet you are?
What poets? All the poets in the rooms with me since
Mm.
2020.
Wow.
When I first started watching the different rooms, the first actual place I was doing artwork on a Society X website, and I started to meet people that connected me to the different poetry rooms. And then I just went full force into it. And so everywhere that they had an open reading or an open mic, I was there.
Wow.
And then I started filling books, journals with all manner of poems.
Well, that's great advice actually to a crowd that's primarily going through Zooms now, because I was going to start doing another live show, and then all of a sudden they say, we got another variant. And then, you get your little shots and you're like, well, how safe am I? And so actually, to me, I think this will be the future of a lot of poetry and music shows. The convenience of your own home. You can have a soda pop or a cup of coffee, perform your stuff, push your books where they're going to, and where you can get them, and meet great people. Because without Zoom and Facebook, I would have never got to met Finn or a lot of the poets that are in this room today. So I really appreciate everybody for being here.
Well, it's funny because Richard was talking about his publisher, Rose Drew. Rose stays in York, but she's actually an American, and she stays in York. And she hosts a Zoom night once a month on a Tuesday, I think it is, a York open mic. And she's actually started doing hybrid. So she does it from a pub, but she's got half her poets are actually on Zoom. She's got a computer in the room, so she does both. So
it's a good idea.
And word is right. We have events almost every day of the week, whether it's a workshop or an open mic. I mean, there's events all the time. Raul is going to be doing one once a month. We're excited about. We have, there's so many. We're introducing 4 new shows now. I mean, after this weekend, we have 4 new shows coming on board. So it's just, there's so much.
You're just a soldier, though. You're just a soldier.
Oh my
That's
God,
all.
you don't even know. And I'm so tired.
So tired.
Post all your stuff to Word is Right. Post all your stuff. You have events and shows, post them. We're starting to do one poet shows. Kemlyn Bappy is going to be our debut one poet show on Friday night. You get a whole hour of Kemlyn Bappy. Like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I'm working, so.
Next time.
Well, that's what I do. Sorry, I'm like Terry. I did the same. I just found a Zoom show. I never heard of them before until a friend was at one, and I thought, we'll get to try that one. It was in what's it called? It's on a Wednesday night once a month now, and it comes from Glasgow, Newcastle, and California. The 3 hosts are in different places, and I just did that one, and then found another one, and I literally Zoomed myself, New Zealand, Australia, America, or wherever. I've cut back a lot now because I'm not great at getting up in the morning for the 6 o'clock shit shows in New Zealand. It's a great one. I don't know if you've ever done Rick's Place in New Zealand. It's a really good show to do, but it's it's silly time in the morning. Anyway, can we go on? We've got one more reader here, and
Gregory, didn't we have Gregory Slade in there? or
yeah, Greg's
something?
here. Greg is
Greg, we got to hear your poetry.
and
I
Greg
am here.
is one of the oldest blotters. He's been blotting with me since pretty much the beginning. My man,
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah, we've been making the best of the lockdown. Sorry for being off camera. I do chores and I've been doing laundry and running around doing things while I listen. So appreciate everybody's performance. It's been great. This is called The Ideal Fate. I'm gonna start here. It's idealism is too fit to fade away. I knew it in my youth. I am reminded of it today. Taught not to have a heart as prone as mine to break. Perhaps the key might be found in your preparing for the pain. Oh, do not love so much. A plague of words in the poet's brain. One might never find love whose thoughts have bent too far for such breaks. If to love is to lose and be broken, then the break is what I'll train myself to take. I do not, though, think this is what love means. Whatever the fate of loving is, that is the fate I must seek. Idealism is too fit to fade away. I knew it in my youth. I am reminded of it today. Even as I and my love have been faded, even as the fates I have made have been traded, until the training I had waned and I'd hated, the ideal love wed in the bed I had mated, made a fool of the faith I had savored, knowing though the sacrifice of saviors, the faith in love not faulted forever, though heavily wavered. So would love rather die than labor? Is the labor to love but a wager? A bet to be made without takers? A chance one might take to taste failure? Might love even fail to repair her? Ah, but love has not been what's been becoming true. Idealism is too fit to fade away. I knew it in my youth. I am reminded of it today. Perhaps there is no love without loss, but there is loss then either way. Love then is the choice we must make. More a matter of faith than of fate. Perfection is a matter of practice. The heart today must learn to beat while it breaks. There is no winning in a wicked game. Loss is not a lover's true fate. May faith never fatally fade away. Let us not live only to claim the grave. Let us not die solely to lay the blame. May we not cry for fear, no, and neither for shame. Let us not shudder, but from some uttering of another lover's name. Perfect is the plan of the way that's well laid, more perfect than any way we've all prayed, more lovely than any love, however truly made. Is truth perhaps too fragile a thing we lean on in place of tending its wing? Idealism may be too fit to fade away, as I saw it in my youth, as I am seeing it today. Some sayings are said somehow the other way. The truth I see needs freed, I'd say. I don't see it fighting for some freeing I need. I see it needing our help not to fade.
Woo.
Very good.
Yeah.
That was wonderful, man.
That's called The Ideal Fate.
Great. Definitely post that one up in the Literature Cafe Global too. We'd like to see some posts from this show as well, because there's a lot of great poetry that I've seen here that I'd love to read in print or in video even. I'm wanting to welcome everybody to put a lot of videos on there too, because it's great to see the artist at work, you know, and just the wonderful poetry that comes from all over the world now. Well, Finn, do we have anybody else that wants to read?
No,
Or-
that's your lot. That's everyone here's
All right, I
read.
have one final request for the end of this show, since we chose to do an interview of you. And I would love to hear a poem of yours to end the show that you like to use for a good
Sure.
finale.
Sure.
And if everybody likes this program, please make a comment, and maybe Finn and I can work together on a hybrid of a blot from the blue and the Literature Cafe Global in one program again like that.
All right.
Collaborations, yay.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the one that I wrote. I wrote one yesterday. I don't know if you saw it online. My brother's an artist that lives in New York. And I can't find it. And he put up his latest painting, and I decided I'd write a poem straight away with it and shared it. I can't find it. So I'm going to write this one. And this one was inspired by, oh goodness me, I can't remember who it was. Somebody on Facebook. I get inspired by a lot of stuff. So it was hit with the storms that you had over there 2 weeks ago. And he was talking about being able to play. The only thing he could do was play cards by candlelight. And then the power came on and they started dancing. But he says, don't know how long, because the power will go off. And I just messaged to him the title of this. And then after that, I thought, oh, it makes a poem. So I wrote this poem. I wish I could remember what it was from, but never mind. It's called Dance While Your Lights Are Lit, Darkness Comes Too Soon. You need a dialogue with fear to help you keep your ship on an even keel, help you steer around the rocks whilst not being afraid of the rocks, be aware of the rocks. The rocks don't know that you are there. You, however, know they exist. But not everything is black and white, but also it's not all psychedelic colors. Not everyone is out to get you. Neither does the world owe you a sandwich. You have to make your own sandwich. But if someone offers you salad for your sandwich, then you might just be offering you salad for a sandwich and not want anything else in return, except a simple thank you. With age, they say, comes experience, but experience doesn't come with sitting at home, sitting still, both physically and mentally, sitting alone, prone to, well, nothing. And nothing is more than a state of mind. Nothing is a state of being, and being afraid of nothing is nothing short of odd and just as complex as being afraid of everything. Sadness doesn't always howl. Sometimes it's the whispering voice at the end of the day in your head asking, is there room in there for one more? There you go.
That was great. Well, guys, we have had every poet read. We've had a great interview today, and I'm looking forward to some more shows and promoting some of your films as well, so people can watch some of the films. And hope to see everybody really soon. And everybody keep up these shows, because I'll try to attend as many as I can.
All right, my next Blot is on the 6th of February. There's a few people here already booked their open mic spots. So
Right.
if you want to come along, 6th of February, 7 o'clock, GMT, whatever time it is for you. There's always open mic spots, even if you turn up in the night and go, hey, can I read? I'll fit you in somehow. And it's a long show. Be prepared to have matchsticks for your eyes. As Greg and Roll knows, it can be 4.5 hours long. Man. It's
All right.
All right.
Yeah, but it's
Thank
worth
you
it.
very
Good poem.
much.
All right. Everybody have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Right now, it's 5:50 p.m. here, and we're about to have rush hour traffic, or what's going on.
Cheers.
And it has been such a wonderful time interviewing you, Finn, and everybody else that read poetry. I
Thank
was
you,
so
guys.
inspired.
Nice to
Thank
meet you all.
Thank
It
you.
was nice
Bye.
to meet everybody. Have a good night.